Welcome back, everybody. Got the vent windows. If you didn't watch the last video, got the vent windows rebuilt, fixing to put the side windows and the vent windows in. And I'm going to show you the right way to put these vent windows in. I see a lot of people put them in and they flap the seal out here like a wing. It's not a maxi pad. It don't have wings on it. You're going to have to tuck that puppy in there like Caitlyn Jenner going to a swim meet. So I'm going to show you how to put them in there. And hopefully it all turns out right. I'm going to have to find me a window crank for my regulator in here. Get the side glass. It goes in first. Once it goes in, you roll it down, pop the vent wind in, and hopefully you can get them all in today. I got all new seals to go in it too. I'm going to have to go get me some white lithium grease, grease up my rollers and stuff here in a little bit. But I'm going to get started, try to get the side window set down in here. Hopefully it'll help somebody out. All right. These are a little tricky to get in. I actually have not put any in a while, but I've got the window regulator rolled all the way up. You can see the rollers. I probably should have left what I do is slide the back. Oh, I'm right in the way. Slide the window track on the back roller. What I'm going to do is go to the inside. There's a notch on the back side of the rail. I'm going to get it lined up where that roller can pop in. Then I'm going to slide the whole thing back. I passed it up here. Trying to do all this without scratching the paint. One reason I don't like a painted vehicle. Too much to worry about. If I can get this popped in there, I'll bring the camera around and show you what I've done. I don't know if this is the right way to do it, wrong way to do it. This is just the way I've always done them. I'll start letting the regulator down. Maybe that glass will lay back here. I'm going to bring it around and show you what I've done. So as you can see, I started back here. I had this rolled on up. They'll go up just a little bit higher. Slide that in from here. Once I get this notch to this one, I popped it in and slid it all back to where it needs to go. So what I'm going to do now is start rolling the regulator down more. That'll pull all this in, and as I do, I'm going to slide the glass in up here and bring it back for it to clear the brace in the door. It's almost there now anyway, but that's all they are to putting the side window in. Let me get it turned around here. Got the cab full of junk. I got the garage full of junk too. So I'm going to just start easing this down, and as I ease it down, I'm going to slide the window back. I'm going to go get me some white lithium grease, grease up all these tracks good. They're actually going up and down really smooth right now, but I want to put a little bit in there, get all the rollers lubed up, get the gears on the regulator lubed up. You know, a little bit of lube. I would use some window cleaner, but I don't think it'll last. Alright, so that's all they are to put in the side window in. And like I said, it's got to go in before the vent window does. If you ever have to change the side window, vent window's got to come out. So I'm going to get my vent window, get it put in there. Before I put it in, I'm going to show you what I've done to end up setting the rivet. If you watched the last video, I'm going to show you what I end up doing to set the rivet, the pivot rivet on the vent window assembly. So I'm going to grab it and I'll show you real quick what I've done. Alright, so before I continue on, I want to show you what I've done, end up doing to set the rivet. I took a 3/8 socket and two 6-inch extensions. I had my block of wood with a steel plate. I was taking the tool and putting it on here. If you watched the other video, I kind of seated it some, but you're having to swing right close to the glass. So what I end up doing was putting these together. I wrapped a little bit of tape around the end of this, and it fit up in here snug. And what I did, I had my son-in-law over. He was holding the window frame for me, but I rested the rivet on the block of steel, had the tool, and hit on the extensions. That allowed, getting it that long allowed me to swing the hammer up here instead of having to try to swing right down here by the glass. So, if you can cobble something around to get it to work for you like that, whatever you got to do to get it in. All right, I'm going to get this put in and show you the right way. A lot of people try to flare this out, and they're talking about how they don't fit right. This does not go outside the door. This tucks in the door. I can't say I'm really impressed with the quality of the rubber. It's precision rubber. It's got some roughness to it. The fit's not the best, but it's better than what was in there. So we're going to roll with them. I'm going to get the camera turned around back over to the truck and show you how to get one of these put in. All right, so what I'm doing right here is setting the tension on my vent windows. You want them tight enough that the wind don't blow them around, but you don't want them so tight that it's hard to open. So I'm just kind of snugging that a little, working with it. I'm going to go with them right in there. It's a little tight, but with the new rubbers and all, I think it'll finally work its way in. So I've got my nut where I want it. I'm going to take a hammer, just bend these tabs back over on the lock. That will keep it from moving as the window's opening, closing. I forgot to do this when I was putting them together. Almost put it in without it set. And that's it. So I'm going to pull these up, lock them back in place, and we're going to put it in the truck. All right, so to put these in, the door glass, I put them in from the outside, as you see, slide it in the track, get it rolled down all the way back out of the way. And you want to drop this in at an angle. You want this foot to go in right in front of the glass. Once you get it down, twist it around the way it's going to go. Let your spring go in front of the door brace. And all this rubber, remember, it tucks in the door. It does not go on the outside of the door. All this rubber tucks down in the channel. I see so many people putting these in and wing that rubber out. Should have sprayed a little glass cleaner on here. And just like that, the vent window is in. There's 3 screws that I've got to put in. I may work with this rubber right here. It's kind of pinching pretty hard. I still think it needs to go forward just a little bit, so I'm gonna work that on in. I'll get the screws and show you what screws go up through here. I've got to get them cleaned up, and we'll come back when it's ready to go. All right, I don't know if you can see, but there's 2 of these. They have a screw with a shoulder on them like that. The kit sends something similar, like this. Don't use those. They're way too small. It'll just pull through. So all you do, put those 2 screws in. There's a 3rd screw up here at the top. It does not have a shoulder on it. You just run it in. When you're tightening these up, kind of pull the window frame to you a little bit and snug it up in there. I'm going to get it cleaned up and show you how to get the run track in. All right, so the channel that comes down, you've got a bolt hole right here. I usually leave this loose. I may start the bolt in it, but you can adjust that. You can get just a little, depending on once you get your seals in and the back channel in. Kind of adjust those to tighten up on the glass as it's rolling up and down. So I'm going to just start this in, get the channel put in, roll the wind up, get the back channel in, get the felt snapped into it and get it adjusted. All right, so I've got the window run channels. These are precision also. They will go like this, where the bend's at. That's going to go at the front. The notched area goes back in here where it will curve around the door. The rest of this will slide down. I'm going to start in the front. I've not done these in a pretty good while. Only ever done one other set, and I don't think they were too fun. I'm going to start up here. Well, I was going to try to start up here and slide it down through the channel, but I'm actually going to just start in the corner and work it down. I'll have to put my hand inside the door, get it all worked in there. So you can just pinch this stuff together, squeeze it up in there. So I'm going to get all this front piece in, get it worked all the way down in the door, and I'll come back in just a second. I'll show you once I get all this in. I'm going to slide the glass forward into this channel. That gives you room in the back to drop it down, get all of it put in. So I'm going to get all this put in down through here, and I'll come back and show you once I get all that slid in there. Got it in. You can see I pushed it in here. I had to reach through in the door. You can reach through in one of the holes and just kind of blind feel how to put the bottom in. The one thing right here, there's a little catch. There's a hole in the door up in the frame that this pops up into. Make sure you get that seated fully up in there. Should clip into place. And I'll probably have to get one of my little windshield tools to snap it all the way up in there. Alright, so I ended up getting the little clip put in. It ended up being more of a pain than I thought. It was, what I ended up doing was kind of squeezing it flat with a pair of needle nose oblong this way and get it to pop up in there. It popped up and caught in the hole. So I'm going to just keep going around feeding this channel all the way into the frame until I get down to right in here. And once the channel leaves, I've got the bottom part of the channel I'm going to have to drop in, feed it into it, tighten it up on the door, and get it all set where the door can roll up and down fairly easy. But for the most part, this is not that bad to do. Getting that in was a little bit of a pain, but it went in and it's looking good. Shouldn't be no rattles, wind whistles, nothing like that in the door. So I'm going to finish getting this all put in, and I'll come back. I'm going to have to find this piece. I don't know. I've got buckets and boxes. I've got junk everywhere for these trucks. If anybody needs any parts, I've got fenders. I don't think I got any doors that I want to get rid of, but let me know. I've got a bunch of stuff I need to get rid of, get out of the way, because we're fixing to start on the 67. I went and bought a front suspension and rear end to put under it to change it all over to 5 lug disc brake. So we're hopefully going to get started on it here pretty soon. I was hoping maybe to try to build a shop this year too, but we'll see how all that works out. Be nice to have somewhere else, and I know the wife would love to have the garage at the house back, but you know, this has been kind of fun for me. It shows you can build something. You don't need a big fancy shop to build a pretty nice truck. You can do it all pretty much in a 2-car garage and a driveway. So I've got all that in all the way around. Going to kind of push all this up where it'll lock in good, and I'm going to find this piece. I'll get it put in there. We'll get everything centered in the window and kind of get the tension set against the sides on it, and get the window rolled up, and I want to let it set. That way all these seals can kind of just form to the window. They'll be tight to roll up the first little bit, But longer it's on there, it should settle in, break in, get easier and easier to roll up and down. All right, so I found my track. I laid it in here. This lower rear track will set in there just like this. You're gonna have a bolt come through the back right up here, and one through the door should be right in this area. So what I'm gonna do is put this up in place, get it behind the window felts. See if I can feed them out. Get it behind the felt, loosely start the top bolt, get all my felts run in, and kind of get it all stretched into place, and then put the bottom bolt in, get everything adjusted, start rolling the window down, and hopefully nothing binds up. Hopefully. All right. So to get this in, drop the bottom in first. Kind of cattywampus it around. I'm gonna get it fed up in behind here. Try to. You know what? I'm gonna have to start that track in it and slide it up in that channel as I go. So I'm gonna just start it on the edge here. Hold it. And scoot that up in there. So I'm gonna get it up into place, get the bolt in it. Maybe. 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 Yeah. My hands hung in there. And where are you at? I see you. I see you. Get this top one loosely. I'm gonna just loosely start it. I've got that channel pushed up in behind here. I'm gonna go ahead and put this bottom bolt in. It'll go in the door right here. Just gonna loosely put it in place too. Get all the felt put in that channel. Same way as I did around the top. It just squeeze, pushes in. There's a stop at the very bottom of it. Yeah, I'm just spinning my wheels. There's a stop at the very bottom of it. Keeps the channel from pushing out through the bottom. Make sure you get it set on it. And that is popping in there good. I'm right at the bottom, touching it. Hopefully, the only place I'm worried about it is right here where they join together. I'm going to roll this down a little bit, get my window back down at the bottom. That way I can look at where this meets the door track and see how everything looks right there. So I'm going to ease her down real slow. Oh, it's going nice. Nice. Oh, other than that, oh, Lord, have mercy. Yeah, that all looks about the way it should. I'm going to pull that over right there just a little bit, and I'm going to tighten this top bolt. I know I'm standing right in your way. So I'm going to pull that track over to where this lines up good. It's wanting to push all the way toward the outside of the door, and I can see a kink in it. So I'm going to pull it over just a little and snug this top bolt down. Just snug. Just snug. I'm going to roll this back up. Actually, I'm going to snug this one just a little. I'm going to roll it back up. Woo! Roll it back down and kind of get a feel for it, see how it feels. I mean, right there, it's feeling really good. Right here's the point that I was kind of worried about it. It's a little snug, but the snugness is up here, and there's nothing I can do to adjust that out. So you know what? We're good. We are good. We'll get the door shut, turn around, and show you how it looks. All right, I wanted to get in here and kind of show you the felt. I just pushed it into that track. This is the track that I bolted on. As you can see, it's not going to focus, but that's where it bolts in right up there. Yeah, my window guides are really dirty. I didn't clean any of that up and paint it. But there's a stop on the very bottom of this channel. Just make sure that your felt is pushed into that stop. There's a little spider living in there. Make sure that channel, that felt is pushed into, there's a stop on the very bottom of that, a little ear. If not, and that ever hangs on the window, when you roll it down, it's going to pull all that felt back out all the way up around the corner, and you don't want that. And that would be bad. But that's the track that I bolted in. There is a little bit of adjustment on it. There's a little bit of adjustment on the front one. I forgot about it also. There's not much, but everything's feeling pretty good on it. So I'm going to tighten this down. This was the one on the vent window. I'm going to get it tightened down. So there's a couple things a lot of people leave out on these doors. There's a screw it goes through right here. What that does is clamps the door tight to the vent window frame. And also, if you have this style of mirror, you need this brace under there. What that does, that is the bottom bolt hole for that mirror. Here I am filming all over the place. This brace will go in here, bolt in here. Actually, it doesn't bolt there, bolts here. It will bolt in there, and I've got the wrong one for this side, but it bolts in here and becomes the bottom. You can't see it, but it is the bottom bolt hole. It's behind the track for that. Actually, I've got this turned around backwards. That is the right one. But it becomes the bottom bolt hole for the outer mirror. If you don't have those on there, I've seen people put a nut cert in there, but they'll flop. It really helps to brace it up, brace into the door. So I'm going to get these put on real quick, and I'll show you what they look like once they get installed. All right, you can see I've got this bolt. It's a 5/16. Actually, it's a screw. There's a speed clip on the back side of the panel. What you'll do is tighten this up. Like I said, it's just going to squeeze the door together. I got this bracket in. Left and right are different, so as you take them out, be sure you know which one goes where. You can't mix them up, but you could bend something. And what that is the bottom screw hole for the mirrors. If you don't have that style mirror, you probably won't have that bracket in there. But I'm going to get these tightened down. These are 10 millimeter. And like I said, this is a 5/16. I'm going to tighten it up just to squeeze the door in against the seal on the vent window. And I'm going to get this done, and I'll be ready to move on to the other side. And we are done with this door, except for one thing. And I'm going to pull the top corner back out. As you can see right here in this top corner, it's not really fitting well. I'm going to pull that back out. I think it has to do with that rubber piece. Actually, there's other spots too. I'll be honest with you, I'm just not, this aftermarket stuff, not very pleased with a lot of it. But, I mean, all in all, it's better than what was in it. You know, most other stuff's 40, 50 years old. It's getting dried out, cracked. Wish I hadn't cut my tent. Got a little short down the edge here, but for the most part, it has all turned out really, really good. I'm really pleased. It's getting to the point that I'm about ready to take it down the road. So I'm going to turn in, get the other side done. Well, guys, they're both in. Both sides finished, all new seals, gaskets. I've still got to put the swiper seals on the outside. I'm leaving those off for right now. I'm going to leave them rolled up for a while, let the seals kind of set, make sure I don't have any binding or anything before I put these in. I don't want to have to take all this back out and try to get those out. Those are aggravating to get out and keep. Usually they bend up bad when you try to pry them up out of there. So I want to make sure they're not coming back out for anything. And they turned out, they looked pretty good, you know, other than the glass being scratched some. Uh, all in all, everything looks really good. Hopefully there's not any air or water leaks or anything. So just want to say thanks everybody watching, like, subscribing. So if you ain't subscribed, like, or watched, yeah, watch it. But again, thanks. We'll have another video out here pretty soon. I got all the suspension. Like I said, I think in the video, I got everything for the 67. I got a front end out of a 86, 87 Suburban and a 373-10 bolt rear end to go in the 67. So as soon as it warms up, we're going to start on it. And again, thanks everybody for watching.